Let's go. It's playoff time. We got 2 games today. We got 3 tomorrow. We got 1 Monday. Here's what we're going to do on Off the Chalk. It's Holden, AP, JT, and we're going to break down this 2-game slate for today. Then we're going to move on to the 3-game slate for Sunday. Then we'll talk a little bit about the Saturday to Monday slate as well. But we're here. We made it. It was a very fast 18 weeks, AP. We were comparing temperatures today. Right now it's -7 in my beautiful town south of Denver. You're freezing your ass off. And I think JT is probably balmy in the 50s. JT, do you need sunscreen in Atlanta, or is everything a little chilly today?
No, honestly, I think I have the worst of it amongst the 3 of us. It's 46 degrees and it's just not nice. And you know, obviously in Atlanta, we expect a little bit warmer weather this time of year. Although January is the toughest month. We get through January and then it's back to essentially spring. But no, actually, I take it back. It's 35 degrees outside right now. It's sunny, but it's 35, which means I'm not leaving the house. It's straight to the car and then to the bar to watch this 2-game slate today. You
know what he did, AP? He was saying that, but then in July, when it's 100 degrees with 90% humidity, well, you got to deal with that shit. I don't. That's awful.
I got it. Yeah, I don't complain about that. I actually like the heat. I like to be outside in the heat. I like to go running in the heat, and it's good.
Trevor Bryan.
You like to go running in the heat? That's like the worst.
Yeah. So when I was younger, I was living in Texas on the border, and I remember I would go run at night after work. And one night there was one of those signs with the temperature, and it was still 107 degrees at like 9 o'clock at night. And I'm chugging along. People thought I was insane, but I loved it. I had no problem with it.
Yeah, you know, I expect this from JSU. I love running in the heat. Just
JSU person, just a little bit, a few years apart. We
like a foot difference. There's no hair on your head.
Hey, you're saying those things to be mean and hurtful to him.
I'm not. And that it was to you. You have no hair. You think it's cool, but it's not. You have alopecia.
You are envious of this skull because if you shaved your head, you'd look like a mullet.
Look at this. Look at this beautiful head of hair at my age.
Not look like an alien.
It's court.
So all right. So this is a curveball. No one would probably guess this, Holden, but I've done 2 half marathons in my life. Got it. I was into running. Early on, just got married and whatever. You know, I had to keep, you're in that phase where you're still trying to impress the wife or whatever. And when I would train, like my mile per minute average, if it was like, let's say 65, 70 degrees, no wind, I mean, we're talking like 8.5, maybe minute average, something like that.
Good.
When we get up to 90, 95, 100 degrees or wind, I'm like 10.5 minute average. I mean, it's I can't run in. I'm a pussy, so I can't run in the heat. It's brutal.
Well, back when you tried to impress your wife, is what you said. You're just done with it. You're just like, what are you doing, JT?
Just showing you how
I filled my quota. She's already impressed.
You can't even see it. You already told us it was 46. Big deal.
That's you're old. That's because you're old.
AP, it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, JT. AP. So we got this 2-gamer. We're not going to get into it immediately, but I do have a question for you. So we got Cleveland, Houston, Miami, Kansas City tonight. The kickoff's 0 degrees, wind chill -20 something. You're a diehard Chiefs fan. Would you go to this game if I gave you a ticket?
No, I don't even like going to games. No, I don't even like going to games in general. It could be like the best conditions ever. I don't like why go to a game when you got the best seat, the best setup, like right here in my basement, 3 TVs,
but you're a fan.
Massive couch.
Would you go if it was the AFC Championship?
I'm a fair weather fan.
What about
if it was the AFC Championship, no, I wouldn't, because it's cold and shitty here in Kansas City.
Yep.
So, no.
JT was telling me I'd burn my nipples.
Got to be honest.
Cold.
The last time I went to a football game, actually, a little humble brag, but it was the Super Bowl. I saw Tom Brady get number 6.
Who's the biggest idiot at RPS that would go to a game like that and not wear a shirt? And don't say me, because I wouldn't do that.
Kurt.
Oh, I mean,
Kurt might not wear any clothes. Kurt would have like a little garbage bag over his midsection.
Idiot. Yeah, I love him. He's a lovable idiot.
He's awesome.
just an idiot, nonetheless. Imagine
that is actually the move, isn't it? To wear like some sort of plastic, like especially over your feet, just to make sure they don't get wet.
Yeah,
because once your socks get wet, you're screwed. In this type of cold, you're done. Like that, you can't do anything.
Done. And what did we say on the Old Guys Pod, JT? I told you I could last 15 minutes without a shirt or a hat, but you'd have to pay me $500,000. Nothing less than $500,000.
That's the floor.
That's the floor, dude. You know how miserable it would be? Potential nipple frostbite. It's just awful.
It's going to get worse too. Like I went. It's 18 under right here outside. I was outside like trying to shovel snow. I was talking to you, Holden, and no, I'm just like, screw this. I'm not going anywhere. Like, why do I need a shovel? So I
was telling AP last night that we had a discussion about nipples,
knuckles,
the Old Guys Pod, but I couldn't remember exactly what it was. So I was like, yeah, we talked about them. I'm not sure what the context was.
Yeah, well, the thing was
something about a Ken doll.
Oh, we can't do that on this free show. Only with old guys we can talk about playing with Barbies. You can't do that.
No, go listen.
Rocking the banana.
Jake Swales, looking like a hot lesbian, gave me a haircut. Dude, I rolled right out of bed this morning, and that's it. I told you the best is my hairdresser. Beautiful lesbian. No tension, no sexual tension. Beautiful woman touching my head. It's wonderful. So the idiot that would go topless, JBC. Is everybody aware that there's a bet now between Tony and JBC with the Eagles Bucks game? AJ Brown is out, by the way, officially. Yeah. But with the Eagles Bucks game, and JBC is on the Eagles, Tony's on Tampa Bay. Whoever loses has to try to run a mile at the RPS party.
I think it's going to be fun to try and see JBC do that.
I think he might die. I told him that. I really think he might die. He's not in good shape. He doesn't look healthy.
So he ran a little bad, right? Because AJ Brown gets ruled out. But that Eagles team is just, there's obviously infighting. There's complete disarray. That's going to be an interesting game. That's one of the more interesting games, I think, on this slate, to see what happens. Obviously, the news come out yesterday that the Eagles are actually considering firing Nick Sirianni based on the way that this season went. So who knows?
You get to the Super Bowl the next year, it goes to hell. You're not firing Sirianni unless there's a massive mutiny.
I wouldn't count it out. We literally live in a, like, what did you do for me 10 seconds ago? Type of work. I mean, that is dumb. Especially in Philly. Like Philly, it's like times that by 10.
Yeah. I'd say as far as the toughest media markets go, Boston, Philly, New York, just put them all together. And I've worked in Boston. There was just guys would go out in the media trying to get other guys fired. And it happens in Philly and it happens in New York. Absolutely crazy.
Adam G says Belichick to Philly, but here's there was a report from, I think it was Schefter, that said the market for Belichick is not just limited to the teams that are looking for a coach, and it might be a team that's in the playoffs now. So I don't know if that's Philly. I don't know if that's somewhere else. And then Holden, did you see what Pete Carroll said after the news about him transitioning to the front office? He said it's because people who weren't football people made the decision. Sounds like he wants to maybe leave Seattle. Maybe he doesn't want to advise this group.
He should have. He's done. Like, it's good. It was a good run, buddy.
Yeah.
It was a great run. Hall of Fame coach. Done, Pete Carroll. Stick a fork in it.
Yeah.
Did you just say Pete Carroll is transitioning?
That's what I thought.
On my head, that's all I heard. I was like, what?
I mean,
I might not be surprised though if that was the case.
There's no new era where when you say transition, you don't think about going from job to job.
Glock said it in Discord the other day, and we all congratulated him. So I mean, there's no issue.
I love
Glock's transition.
No issue
too.
at all.
Yeah,
well, good. We're all inclusive here at RPS. We're all inclusive. You could be transitioning. You don't have to transition. You still get the code New Year 15 for 15% off your first payment. We don't give it.
The code will still work.
Huh?
The code will still work.
Yeah, the code will work. It doesn't matter what you are. If you're a dog and Tony got a dog too. He got a freaking doodle, whatever the hell it is. Congratulations, Tony. I mean, puppies are worse than babies.
Noah Moon, we got a premium show later today, the Wood Show. Premium member, you got to be a member only, and then there will be a morning Wood show tomorrow on Sunday.
What time is the Wood show today, though? It's leading up to lock. So what is it, like 3 to 4? Yeah, they're gonna do that
with JSU and Big T. There you go.
So you'll get the morning Wood. Settle down, Noah Moon.
No,
you sign up, Noah Moon.
Yeah, why don't you
sign up? Get the winners.
I don't care.
Imagine not watching that show. Come on.
Yeah.
First of all, we need to be careful because Noah may have a head-to-head with Bobby, and we don't want to give away Bobby's inside info of what his team is going to look like.
Oh, is that Bobby's Noah?
Bobby's guy,
okay. Yeah.
Sorry, Noah. You're now known in RPS as Bobby's guy.
Bobby's guy.
Why don't you transition to RPS, Noah, and use the code New Year 15 and hit the like button while you're at it, buddy. We'd love that. Yes, we are doing NASCAR content, correct, AP? We do every sport.
Yeah, we do every sport. We have the Australian Open starts tonight. So today's I'm glad that we're snowed in because today's a very busy day. Multiple showdown slates, 3 max content, all of the good stuff. My guy Mangone right there in chat going to be helping out with that. But then we got the Aussie Open tonight. So Susie leads up our tennis stuff. And Matty Ice as well. So we'll all be dialed in for that. It'll be good.
You guys crush tennis. You, Susie, everybody that does tennis.
It used to be like one of my favorite sports, but kind of pulled in a few different directions now. So, and like my go-to players on the tennis side, they're now old now. They're the guys that I used to follow. They're out of it. So it's like it's always it takes a few hours to dive back in and to see who's crushing.
Brittany, we're very open-minded here. We're big fans of you. You're 100%. One of the OGs, Brittany. Brittany's an OG. So way to go, Brittany. Big fan. Glad you came on to join the show with everybody else today.
Oh, Johnny Takes. Come on, man. Lazy now.
What
the exact opposite.
Why are you lazy?
He goes, I have no idea. Because I said it takes a little bit of time to get redialed into Dennis because we got NBA at 7 days a week now. We got NFL play, a lot going on.
So again, it's a premium show then today, the Wood. So you got to sign up. You got to transition from wherever you're signed up right now to Run Pure Sports. And then when you sign up, you'll get the morning Wood, you get all that stuff. And then tomorrow we'll have the Wood, but on the Up to Lock show, myself, Mangone, and DC, the Denver crew, we'll be doing an Up to Lock show for the 3-game slate and be giving away 2 $100 tickets.
He's heating up.
You're not going back to that, are you?
Sorry.
Bobsled content. That would be fun, actually.
Thank you to NY Giants fan for what are you doing?
If we could bet on it, Rubio would have us dialed in. I tell you, all of those like crazy little Olympic type sports. Yeah, Rubio is our guy for that.
Oh my God, man. Please don't do that again.
Did I throw you off track that bad?
JT, please don't do that again.
It was the perfect time though.
I completely disagree. Actually, if we're gonna do that, then I'm gonna have to start doing my thing and putting stuff up there. Is that what you want to do?
Whatever you want, baby. Whatever you want. It's Saturday. There we go.
Hold on a second. Let me get this right. Let me get this off the thing here.
Are you sharing your monitor? I mean, I'm very nervous if that's.
Yeah, I am. I took the porn off, AP. But tell me this. Let's put a candy cigarette in his mouth, and you tell me that's not JT.
I like it.
Yeah, you do. You know why?
He's on fire.
This is the shit we did on the old guys pod.
This is Holden's porn.
Yeah, this is what I look at. Stills of Kojak. Pooler's back. What up, Pooler? How are you, buddy? Oh, hey, Pete. He's just gonna play audio. Thank you. All right. AP.
Holden's like a child in here, just loving the buttons. Is that you pressing the buttons?
It's JT doing that.
Oh, okay.
That was you. That was you.
The Taco Bell one. I did one of them. You did 10 of them. Yes, we get paid for this crap.
Listen, drop your questions. If you have questions, drop your questions. It'll get us back on track.
Oh, man.
Let's go. Let's get into this. We hit our number. We're at 300. I'm set.
We're at 300.
Pooler's back. Did I already tell you Pooler's back or no?
Yeah, you told us that.
I just did that. Well, again, like I said, it's I just passed my word count.
No, he's just trying to delay things so that I'm not here trying to talk up Mahomes. That's what he's doing. I know.
No, I'm excited about this. Listen, we didn't even have this on the schedule. JT and I were talking about it. You were talking about it. I'm like, screw it. It's Saturday morning. This is my favorite time of year. Super Mercado wild card weekend. I mean, it's just like they make this thing. What is this going to be next year? Mega, super, gigantic wild card weekend. Let's get into it.
There may be another 8 teams in it next year. They keep expanding the playoffs. Go ahead.
It's gonna be, okay. So we're going to talk about the 2-gamer today, Cleveland, Houston, Miami, Kansas City. When we're done with that, we're going to talk about the 3-gamer tomorrow. So let's get going here. We'll go position by position, AP. That's what you wanted to do, right? Your boy Mahomes is at 7,100 in this chilly game. Tua, he literally might freeze. He's 7K. Stroud is 6,800 in a dome. Flacco's going to be popular, isn't he? At 6,100, he should. And Amari Cooper and/or Njoku will be guys that we'll be looking at. So break down the quarterback position, my friend. How much Mahomes you going to have today?
I mean, it's tough. It really is. And so like my process, I put everything into SaberSim, and I first start by aggregating our projections with Sabres projections, and then I add my own flair to it, just looking at matchup type of stuff. And then the other key thing that I do that has been really huge of late is I adjust the ownership, because with SaberSim, when they're running these simulations, the ownership piece of it is also very important. And I feel like ownership on these type of slates specifically is constantly like underrepresented. And what I mean is like Joe Flacco, let's just say the average ownership projection out there for him is say 35%. I'm going to bump him up 5 to 8 points above that, just because I feel like that's an underrepresented number. Joe Flacco in Flacco stacks just feels too easy. It feels like the best spot. I already have my core up, and it just feels like the easy route to go, the safe route, and possibly the best route. You know, Texans obviously a pass funnel. Amari Cooper smashed in this matchup the last time they played, and Njoku as well. The target tree is also very defined. That's the path. That is like the path. But if we're talking the Millie Maker, and that's obviously the contest sim I ran, it was really interesting. The sims really, really like CJ Stroud. I was getting 2x CJ Stroud over Flacco, and I think that is kind of the sharp pivot, because when you look at ownership projections, Flacco leads the way, followed by Patrick Mahomes, surprisingly, which I was kind of surprised by that, and then CJ Stroud. And basically no one's playing Tua, which is also kind of interesting. I mean, the case for Tua, and I'm not sitting here trying to say that I'm playing Tua, but the case that you could make for him is that it's his weapons that get him there. Like Tyreek Hill breaking one for an 80-yard, 90-yard touchdown run. Achane doing the same thing. And that could happen. And so when you're thinking Millie Maker type of formats, like I would almost be a little bit more interested in playing a Tua, because I think Pacheco is like an absolute lock, but like over Mahomes. I was really surprised. I'm curious to see what JT Hayes says, but I thought it would have been Flacco, the most popular, then CJ Stroud, Mahomes, then Tua. But I think because the Chiefs still have the highest implied team total on the slate, that's probably what is getting Mahomes' ownership up there. But Flacco seems the safe play, your single entry, 3-max type of stuff. But I do think CJ Stroud, the guy's an absolute baller. I love what the contest sims were showing me with CJ Stroud. And the runbacks are really nice in that stack. So I have a ton of interest in the first 2 quarterbacks. And look, I'm all about the running game in the second game. And I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say about that game. I think it's tough to get to the quarterbacks. That's Mahomes and Tua.
I can't believe great googly moogly. How are you not going Mahomes? He's been talking up the Chiefs and you're not playing Mahomes.
Because Pacheco's been their best weapon. Why would they go away from him? I mean, like, why not run him 30 times? McKinnon, there's no McKinnon. CH they don't trust. It's I mean it's going to be the Pacheco show. So when we get to receiver, I think there's some interesting discussion to be had. But as far as like floor to ceiling type of combination, I mean Joe Flacco, I wish he was priced higher, to be honest. I think that would make it far more interesting.
All right, what are we doing at quarterback, JT? Just 4 guys, exposures, etc. We don't want to give away too much because it's a free show, but give away, a little bit here at quarterback.
I think when you look at these 2 games, the one thing that strikes me as very interesting is the difference in totals is just 1 point, right? The Dome game is at 44.5, and this game in Kansas City is still at 43.5. And I agree with a lot of people. I think that's a little bit too high here, but I don't think Mahomes is going to come in that highly owned. I think that's wrong. I just have to believe that's wrong because unless it's just casuals that are playing this, because everyone else who's watched this Chiefs team, AP's right. It's been Pacheco. It's been the running game. When Pacheco was hurt, it was Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It was them not trusting their receivers outside of Rashee Rice. The interesting thing with the Chiefs-Dolphins game is you look at those pieces that you would ordinarily want historically, and they're guys that get a lot of work done around the line of scrimmage, right? Especially in this cold weather. Tyreek Hill, they're going to have a couple of design gimmick plays for Tyreek around the line of scrimmage. And if he can break one, he's way, way too cheap, right? You look at Travis Kelce, 6,100 on DraftKings. He's had a terrible second half of the season. But in that cold weather, 15-mile-an-hour wind, which isn't that terrible, you could see short passes, right? You could see where they lean on Travis Kelce, they lean on Isaiah Pacheco. So I think those guys are interesting. As to the first game, I said this on the Old Guys pod earlier this week. You look at the targets for Amari Cooper, everyone remembers what he did against this team just a few weeks ago. But I have to believe that DeMeco Ryans and staff are sharp guys. They've gotten this team unexpectedly into this position. And if I'm DeMeco Ryans, if I am the defensive coordinator for the Texans, I'm doing everything I can. I'm bracketing Amari Cooper. I am doubling him. I'm doing whatever I can. I'm pushing him at the line of scrimmage, which makes me a lot more interested in Elijah Moore, a little bit more interested in David Njoku. And the other thing on this 2-game slate that I will say, we've seen this in a lot of these other 2 and 3 game slates, is what's been the key to winning? Leaving salary on the table. And that means you're going to pass up on a Nico Collins, maybe. You're going to pass up on Amari Cooper. You're going to maybe be a little bit different. Jerome Ford looks like he's going to be popular. I honestly think Kareem Hunt is a very interesting tournament play here, especially in a situation where maybe the Browns get down a little bit and they have to pass even more. And they've also not been scared to use Kareem Hunt at the goal line instead of Jerome Ford.
So we'll get into the running backs and we can do it right now. Thumbs up, like button. We'd love that. What is it? Thumbs up or like button? Or smash it. Rubio told me smash the like button. That'd be great. New Year 15% off first payment. Bet side. If you're new to betting or old to betting, JBC just threw his 2 plays up. We've got a battle to where one of the 2, Big T or JBC, might die, because whoever wins the Philly-Tampa game, the other guy has to run. You know what? Tony will be fine. JBC, I'm a little worried about, but we got players.
What are you setting the mile time at for both?
JBC?
Those JBC's
21
time
minutes for JBC. I I think can do it in like
21 minutes.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude,
he's walk a mile in like.
But he may not finish.
I don't think
he may not finish.
You can't walk a mile? Oh, come on.
No,
JBC can walk a mile.
Have you seen this guy? I never met him in person. I love him. Have you seen this guy? He does not look.
He's not like
health.
He's not like riding a scooter at Walmart. Like, I mean, he's not like that.
He's the guy. Actually, I saw him at the airport here in Atlanta. I was waiting to get on my flight, and it was the wheelchair person coming to get him. So I just so you know.
Honestly, if I get to the party, if that's the one guy I'm looking forward to meeting is JBC.
Oh,
he's almost as big a wreck as I am. I met you last year. It was weird. Very uncomfortable. Add the bet side though. Running back position. We'll get to JT first this time. I want to be nice to both of you. Achane is up top at 6,800. Mostert 6,700. His hamstring literally might pop today. This is a guy that's had hamstring issues. He's got lower body issues right now. A little concerned about him. Pacheco 6,400. Singletary 5,700. And then you get down to the guys like Jerome Ford. You talked about Kareem Hunt. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire has to at least be in play in an MME. So break it down here, JT. Who are the running backs? And by the way, Spav, I don't even know who you are.
Obviously, it's we're starting this thing where people are getting doppelgangers, right? Where people are creating, we have Fallick Jr., we have K-Falik Burner. Yeah. I don't think Mostert's going for a career game today. I don't think he's healthy. For me, I think
you're talking about the game. Okay.
I like Pacheco here. I like Kareem Hunt here over Ford. I don't love Singletary. There's some injuries there in the secondary for the Browns that I do think make CJ Stroud more interesting and his passing core more interesting. But 62% ownership for Devin Singletary is pretty high. So I'm going to be underweight on him. Just it's a 2-game slate, right? They all can't get there. I'll have a couple lineups with him in case he does, but I like the Hunt route, Pacheco. And then for me, if I'm playing a Miami guy, then it's Devon Achane, because we've seen that he can catch passes out of the backfield as well. And like I said, you want players that are going to get work around the line of scrimmage, and that's Achane for me.
Anybody a little bit down the board here, AP, that you're interested in at running back? Are you staying? Is like Pacheco 99% owned by you?
Yeah, I like the Hambone name. That what was the weekend update? What was it? Where Will Ferrell, Randy Graves, wasn't that it? You guys know what I'm talking about? That's where the Hambone came from.
Okay.
Oh, you guys are too old, aren't you?
I mean, I know Will Ferrell.
So we know who Will Ferrell is.
It's not my.
No, look it up. Look it up. It's it was one of the great SNL bits that they did. Obviously, SNL is falling on tougher times, but. I think running back is the first play is easy. Pacheco, I'm locking him into all my lineups. He's just the best piece. He's been the Kansas City offense. It's lead on their defense. They've even hinted at it, like with coach speak, just acknowledging that they're not this offensive juggernaut, not even close, but they have a very, very good defense. So I think it's going to be a lot of Pacheco, a lot of leaning on the defense, control the clock, and that's how the game's going to go. And then I think the Browns situation is really tough. Like when I first ran my stuff, Jerome Ford, I think it's more of a price type of thing, was landing in quite a few of my builds. I don't like it though. Kareem Hunt has got a lot of touches when they get into the red zone. So you need him to run really Pierre. And we've even seen Pierre Strong like mix in a little bit, 15 to 18% of the snaps. So you can go Devin Singletary, but again, the Browns, really good defense. If you think the Texans are going to be trailing, you'd have a negative script there. That was the case last time these two teams played in Week 16. Obviously, CJ Stroud, though, wasn't in that game, going to be a X factor today. I like the Achane. I like the running back versus running back. People don't like to do that. I don't think they care as much on a 2-game slate, but it is something that you can do to get slightly different. So Achane and Pacheco, my top 2 favorite running backs. I don't mind pairing them together. And a lot of it is just betting on talent and the potential targets that you would get from him. Because I think throwing the ball down the field in this game, going for those big plays, is going to be tough. The guy that could do it, obviously Tyreek Hill, but I just think it's going to be a lot of quick passes and Achane. I like Mostert. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think he's gonna be like a full go. Everything I've read, he could be severely limited, and we all love the talent that Achane has. So Pacheco, Achane, and then a little bit of Singletary is where I'm at. And then I think Kareem Hunt, if you're going touchdown hunting, is an intriguing play in Millie Maker formats.
Is anybody playing Mostert today? Like, what's his ownership? Seriously, this guy's been hurt his whole career. I love him. I love his game. He plays on speed, but I can't imagine a guy already with knee and ankle issues with a history of hamstring issues is going to get a massive workload. And he's in a timeshare.
They moved the ball on the ground very well against Kansas City. Obviously, that game was in a dome, but that's what they're going to have to do here. I think Mostert averaged over 7 yards per carry in that game too. So, and it was a negative script. KC got up early. They were up like 21-0 in the first half, and then they shut Kansas City down in the second half. So, if you think the Dolphins win, I mean, you could get a heavy dose of this run game. So, I'm with you. I don't trust Mostert in this spot.
Let's get to the wide receiver position. Again, smash the thumbs up, like button. We'd really appreciate it. New Year 15% off first payment. You sign up. If you're into betting, got a great bet side as well. So do that. Here
you go.
And Tua's never played brought
to you by David ST Real Estate. That is David ST Real Estate Realtor. David S. Torres.
David S. Torres.
Where do you think David S. Torres sells property, JT?
Miami.
You think he's down in Miami?
Miami.
You think he's down in Miami?
We can look it up. He's a realtor. He should pop up on the old Google.
Yeah, look him up. Look up David ST Real Estate.
We can't have him lying to us here, right? We can't.
Yeah, David ST is S. Torres. Yeah, he's in Florida. That whole state's going to go sinking into the ocean in the next 20 years. So sell as much as you can and get the hell out of there.
I might be wrong.
Why?
Texas.
It's Texas.
Oh.
Texas.
Yeah. Florida Realtor. There you go. And Texas. We were kind of right. I love it.
Bang.
Good job, David Torres.
Bang.
I mean, good job to you guys for guessing that.
Looking to buy or sell your house? Contact our guy, David. There you go.
If you're interested in selling a home in Texas or Florida, David ST Inc. David ST Inc. at gmail.com. David, we are not just a fantasy sports environment. We're doing all things, help everybody in business. David ST Inc. at gmail.com. I won't give out the number, but you can find it at davidstrealestate.com.
No, Pure Chaos needs some content. Why don't you just put your phone number and your website here in the chat, and we can see if he can get out to you. That's great.
David S. Torres, by the way, he is always here. He is actually. David, what's going on? It's a holiday weekend. Why are you not at an open house?
Is he a subscriber?
What kind of realtor are you? Hopefully his click rate just spiked. It did. Hopefully you've got minions working for you that are hosting the open houses today.
I don't feel comfortable buying a house from David S. Torres, so I'm going to move on.
Real deal. Yeah. He's got his license number up there. I mean, he is all about transparency.
I don't like my realtors to have transparency. I want a little bit of, an edge to them.
You want shadiness.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right, let's get to wide receiver now. We're going to do the 3-game slate for tomorrow, too. We're just doing the 2-gamer now.
Yeah.
So, AP, we already had Tyreek Hill against the Chiefs. Now we got Tyreek Hill in Kansas City against his old team. We got Nico the Freako Collins below him. It's 8,700 for Hill, and then down to Nico. Amari Cooper, who had 260-something yards against the Texans a few weeks ago. Your boy Rashee Rice. But let's start up top, and I want the full breakdown here, but is Tyreek Hill in the pool?
Yeah, he is. I just think this projects to be a floor type of slate unless we get a shootout in the first game. Then you want a full game stack with maybe a Pacheco. But again, it projects to be a floor type of slate. So again, like JT Hayes, what he was saying a little bit ago, I think was really sharp. If you don't think that these teams are going to make adjustments, then just play Amari Cooper, play Nico Collins, but these coaches are sharp, or at least we assume that they're sharp. They're going to try to scheme away these players. I mean, the Browns have been incredible, especially against wide receiver ones. Noted in the playbook, I think they third against wide receiver ones, and you have to think that their game plan is going to be to take away Nico Collins. And Nico Collins is going to project to be one of the most popular receivers on the slate, 2-game slate, rightfully so. 7K, CJ Stroud's favorite target. The guy's been an absolute beast. I've loved him. He was like my play of the day. JT Hayes knows this. He was my play of the day like 3 times last year. And he didn't come through for me last year, but he has this year. So, and then Amari Cooper, everyone's going to look at what he did in this matchup, myself included, the last time that they played. It was absolutely insane, the numbers that Amari Cooper put up. Can we expect that again? I think we could expect a performance that justifies the price tag. Do I think he's going to go off for 2 touchdowns, 265 yards, and like 15 catches or whatever it was that he had last time? No, I don't think so. And so this on a 2-game slate, if you're trying to make the Millie make or trying to win the Millie Maker, you gotta make some risky moves. I don't hate the idea of playing Elijah Moore, playing Tyreek Hill in the later game. That I still think Tyreek Hill has to get ownership. I think he's probably the best receiver play on this 2-game slate. It's just the price tag's low. I know it's cold, but you have to think that narrative brings his ownership down a little bit. Like, I don't think Jalen Waddle's going to be a full go. I think, if anything, maybe acts as more of a decoy. And I think it's the Tyreek Hill show. And I think what you get is a lot of short passes, try to get Tyreek Hill in space. Obviously, Kansas City knows how to scheme against them. They did it very well in the game that was in Germany. The problem is he still went for, 88 yards on 8 catches? And let's not forget in that game, I think he was hurt for an entire quarter, or rightfully so. I remember we were on the Off the Chalk show. I was kind of doing the show and watching that game while on that show with you, JT Hayes, since it was the game in Germany. But I'm pretty sure Tyreek Hill was out a quarter and then came back in and was more so a decoy. So I just think his floor is double-digit fantasy points. And on a slate like this one, that is quite intriguing. Then on the Kansas City side, Rashee Rice, I don't know how we trust any other receiver outside of Rashee Rice. I think they scheme up a bunch of short passes from him, so it's more of a volume type of thing. So what I'm getting at is maybe you go like in a Flacco stack. It's Joe Flacco plus Elijah Moore, fade Amari Cooper, play David Njoku, and then get your Tyreek Hills and maybe a Rashee Rice. Maybe that's the way you play it, just to get a little bit different. And then on the Houston side, I mean, it is tough. I don't like Mechie and Hutchinson. I mean, these guys haven't looked very good. So it's probably Nico Collins or bust for the Texans.
Yeah, I'm just trying to build here. Like, the guy I'm afraid to leave out of my lineups today would be Pacheco. That's who's the guy that scares you to leave out of your lineup today, JT?
I'll be honest. Amari Cooper is a guy that scares me to fade, but I think again, if it'd be dereliction of duty if this Texans coaching staff doesn't figure out a way to double him or slow him down and make Flacco go elsewhere, right? And so you look at the ownership here. The ownership is chasing that 56-point game. And remember, that game was without the Houston pieces. That game was without C.J. Stroud. Now you've got Stroud back. The Texans get down big in that game, so the running backs are not used in that game. And I think so I'm gonna play, I don't know how many, 20, 30, something like that lineups in the Millie Maker. And I'm gonna do scripts, right? I'm gonna do scripts where if this game shoots out, and I'm gonna do a handful of scripts if that second game shoots out and this game is a little bit lighter, where you get some of the secondary pieces get there and not the high ownership guys like Singletary and Cooper. But in terms of the receivers, someone was in here talking about Mecole Hardman. I mean, no, he got all those targets in Week 18 because all the starters sat. I think AP's right. The guy that you trust here is Rashee Rice. I like Elijah Moore. There's some injuries in this Browns secondary. So I have interest in Nico, but I also have interest in Noah Brown. He's been banged up, but I can't bring myself, I don't think, to play Robert Woods. I think if there's a receiver other than Nico Collins that has a big day for the Texans, I think it's Noah Brown. So those guys, Elijah, I will have some Amari Cooper, but for the most part, I'm going to play this as if they're going to make adjustments because this is the biggest game of the year. And they've spent the last 6 days watching tape of Amari Cooper shred them. And I have to believe the atmosphere in that building is it's not going to be Amari that beats us.
Okay.
So JT Hayes makes a good point. I mean, we're in the playoffs now. This isn't the regular season. If a guy when you think of like a snap count, how strict are they going to be? Like if they're playing, they're probably going to want to play as much as they can. I'm talking like a play like Noah Brown and maybe even like Jalen Waddle and stuff. Like we don't really know. We just assume these type of things. And you could throw Mostert into that equation too. Like if they're active and playing, like, I think you could just, assume that maybe they're a little bit more healthy, or at least healthy enough to play a good amount of shares, and we always are so hesitant and cautious with these injury situations. On a 2-game slate, I think you throw that out the window and take some risks. So I like the Noah Brown call.
The case here for Waddle is that the Chiefs know Tyreek Hill very, very well. And I would expect the Chiefs to do the same to Tyreek that I expect the Texans to do to Amari Cooper, which is going to leave you – what's that?
2 safeties, two high safeties.
It's going to leave you with what? It's going to leave you with Waddle and a bunch of guys who can't do shit. So, that's why I like Achane a bit because – and I'm going to do that. I'm going to maybe not have lineups that have both Achane and Hill, or at least not a lot of them, and separate them out.
I think a guy that's not going to be owned is Noah Brown. It's hopefully his hamstring doesn't fall off. But if you're saying they're going to go after Nico the Freako, then you got Dalton Schultz, and then Mechie isn't ready. All these guys down you could throw Mechie in there for a catch and 4 yards, but Noah Brown might be the guy to look at. And then Robert Woods, we talk about double condom plays. That's your double condom play. You'll get yourself 7 points. You'll be done.
Don't forget about the tight ends too. I mean, for the Texans, you got Brevin. They can do a lot.
Yeah,
absolutely. We're ready to get to the tight ends. JT, anything else at wide receiver?
No. The only thing I say, like I'm talking about, I think the biggest guy that I'm under on is Amari here. I think a lot of these other guys can get there. I'm under a little bit. I mean, listen. If you're playing multiple lineups, I would go even with the field on Tyreek Hill. He's only going to be 30%. And that's a guy who 2 plays and he could be at 25. And that could be absolutely optimal on this slate.
30%? You think he's going to be that low?
I think that second game is going to come in much lower than people think it is. I think they're
still like Tyreek Hill on a 2-game slate, 30. Like I think Kate Fallick thought he'd be like 65 to 70%, on a 2-game slate.
All the news, all the stories, all the coverage is how this game, it's the coldest game in the history of the NFL. The line has come down 4 points, which is pretty big movement. And I personally think you're going to see ownership come away from that game as people start to build lineups.
Tight end. By the way, 520-something people watching, 79 likes. If JT was hosting this, he would be pissed. I just do it. Just do your shit. Take care of it. You know what to do. Be nice. So, AP. Suck tight end, dude. JBC, I don't know if he's joking, but he's like Kelsey, 102 touchdowns, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6,100, cheap price. He looks old, man. And I wonder if he ever bounced back from the injury, but Mahomes loves Kelsey still. So we'll see what happens there. And Njoku's got to be number 1. Schultz right behind him. Then you got a bunch of guys that you want to throw darts at. I think you brought up Brevin Jordan. So how many of these tight ends are in your pool for the 2-gamer today?
So I got to cite one thing real quick. Just because on 2-game slates, you gotta dive deep and you got to look at previous cold games. So it was 2008. It was the Giants, Packers, Eli Manning, Brett Favre. And it was negative 24-degree wind chill in that game. It was Plaxico Burress. He went 11 catches, 151 yards. So could Tyreek Hill do something like that? I think Tyreek Hill could. So that's my case for Tyreek Hill. If he's going to be 30% on, I think he's a fantastic play. They'd be there. Tight end is very interesting because when I look at the slate, I'm leaning more towards like 3 running backs or 2 tight ends. I don't see myself getting 4 wide receiver builds in there. Now again, I haven't finalized anything, but I do like the tight ends on this slate. Dalton Schultz, David Njoku. David Njoku's been an absolute beast with Joe Flacco. He's putting up monster numbers. And then despite how good Cleveland's defense is, the one position from like a flowchart standpoint that has been fine to target against them has been the tight end position. So that brings Dalton Schultz firmly into play. And again, if you're talking Millie Maker formats, I would keep Brevin Jordan in your player pool at a mid 2,500 salary. If he gets in the box, maybe breaks one and gets a touchdown, 3 catches, 35 yards and a touchdown or something. I mean, at 2,500, that would be massive. And then it's what to do with Travis Kelce. He's been not good, not good at all. I'm not like, to be honest, like I honestly think David Njoku and Dalton Schultz are much better plays than Travis Kelce. I'm not like, I get Travis Kelce's price. The price is interesting from the fact that it has to sucker people into playing 6,100. I can't remember the last time that he's been 6,100, but teams know how to scheme against him. And like, I don't think that's going to change. The Dolphins did a great job in their first matchup that was in Germany, obviously. So, and if anything, like consider like a guy like Noah Gray. Noah Gray's been decent. I just, man, Kelce has been very, very, very tough. So I have a hard time getting there. And I know someone in chat asked, what is Kansas City going to do? I think they're going to do what they've been doing for a while. It's it's too good. They're going to give the ball to Pacheco and hope that their defense is elite and hope that their defense shuts down this high-powered offense. I don't think it's that hard. Like, why would they do anything else? That's what they've been doing. They've been very boring. And I don't see anything changing here. So maybe Kelce has a big game, but again, I think Dalton Schultz, David Njoku are much better plays.
JT, tight end, any Kelce today?
Yeah, I'm going to have some Kelce. I agree with everything that AP said, but it's a 2-game slate. And, the 6,100 price tag, the fact that this is the playoffs, the fact that it's Andy Reid, do we think that Andy Reid can't scheme to get him open 6 or 7 times? Do we not think that he's going to get some targets in the red zone when they get down there? I think he does, so I'm going to have some. But I really do like Dalton Schultz here in this matchup, 4,400. I like Njoku. If you're playing that first game to shoot out, maybe it's a situation where you look at your lineup, you say, I'm only going to play 2 running backs, and I'm going to go double tight end of that first game, thinking that, maybe there'll be some extra coverage on one of the other marquee wide receivers. So I like those guys. Noah Gray, I think AP mentioned 2,600 on DraftKings. If it's true that Kelce is still hurt or that the Dolphins do a good job scheming, then Gray has gotten targets around the end zone. So at 2,600, you need him to catch one in the end zone and fall down, and that would be enough.
Okay. That will do it. I screw defenses. We can figure that out for ourselves. But we're going to talk about the 3-gamer on Sunday. Do you want to – I hate this like button bullshit. You're the one, JT. You can do it. I don't even want to say it again. I'll put it on a banner and that's it. But anything you would like to say?
I don't know. How many likes do we have? Not enough?
Not enough.
Not enough? Not enough.
Yeah. So what do you think?
So, I mean, should we talk about the 3-game slate or should we just go home if the people aren't showing us the respect?
I don't care. What do you want to do?
What about at a very high? Let's talk about it at a very high level. So
right.
not as in depth.
Oh, the 3-game slate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I want to remind you.
If you double the likes in the next 5 minutes, we'll go in detail.
So 3:00 today Eastern time is the Big Wood show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is actually the Morning Wood, which is in the afternoon. So up to lock today, premium show only, Big TJSU. Big TJSU an hour before the game starts. So make sure you hang out with those guys. Tomorrow we'll have our programming. It'll be another Wood show with Big T, JSU, the Prez, and then I'll be going up to lock starting at what? Is that noon? Me, Mangone, DC, giving away 2 $100 tickets thanks to our buddy NY Giants fan. Oh God.
Pug has a name, Spavis Hambone. Have a little respect.
That bear, if that poor Winnie the Pooh bear was alive after what your dog does to that thing,
that's tough.
By the
way, we have another realtor in here. There's 2 realtors in here now.
Yeah, they need to shut up. I don't care anymore, and I'm not trying to buy a house or sell a house. You guys, why don't you hit our guy up in Florida, Texas, because he put his website up there? Just you guys have an off-the-way conversation, off-air conversation.
There's a second one there.
I know the other guy, and he doesn't know how to spell. He's like, I'm 2 T-O. I don't know how good of a.
It's just an innocent typo. Keyboard, it's tough.
Yeah, suburban.
The key is you have to have it in your name, though. That's the sharp thing that our guy David did.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we noticed it.
Take some marketing lessons, Dan Solo Gaming, from David Torres.
Dan Solo Gaming.
And then he has his AI generated, neat and tidy picture right there.
Yeah, that's not him.
I would hire that guy. So there we go.
You would?
Yeah, but I live in Nebraska, so he doesn't
trust guys in suits anymore, by the way. I'm done with guys in suits. Nobody should wear suits. We're far enough in this world. Nobody should wear tuxedos unless
I do agree with
comedy.
That.
When's the last time you wore a suit, AP? Seriously.
Like a full suit?
Yeah.
5-6 years ago, probably.
Been over a year for me. JT always wears.
Oh, I'm saying like a full tie, and I got all the works though. I got my 3-piece, and
he wasn't even here.
I got like 5 custom suits.
He wasn't even here before the show. He didn't even hear our conversation.
That is so perfect. That is so perfect.
That is actually hilarious.
You guys not have any class? You guys not have any class? You don't like to dress up and look professional?
Yeah, I've never heard of Nebraska either.
A lot of people think it's Alaska, so it's funny. Like,
Alaska without the scenery. They're actually, and this is what Cassandra, my lover, says. There's a beautiful forest there. Like up in the northwest corner, Nebraska has this amazing forest. Have you heard of this, AP? Like that's the one place in Nebraska that's nice. Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name though.
You gotta get out there, man. That's
going west in Nebraska is not fun. It's a very boring drive. So.
Here it is, the Nebraska National Forest, and it looks very nice for Nebraska. Like that's a place I could hang out if I had to go.
There are some really good golf courses out west, though.
How'd you end up
in the middle
there?
of nowhere?
How'd you end up living there? Were you born there?
Yeah, I was born here.
Okay, but
I lived in Indy for
Yeah,
I lived in Indy for like 9 months.
Nobody moves to Nebraska, right? Just people move out of Nebraska.
One day we'll get it. Lincoln's not a bad place. So we get a lot of shit, but it's a good place. So we'll get you out here sometime, Holden. Maybe.
Have you ever eaten lion?
People are doing good, but we need to get to 175 in order to go into this 3-game slate.
We just do the 3-game slate and just who cares about the likes and shit? Just do it.
Because
it's basically a 2-game slate, in my opinion. Well, it seems like that way.
Dan Solo _gaming, which is obviously his realtor handle.
Right.
It is correct grammar, meaning I am a realtor as well. No, it'd be TOO. Trust me. I'm a grammar Nazi. That's why I can't work with JSU when he has to write shit down. He's the worst. He writes like a 3-year-old.
You guys know Brittany was a pilot?
I did not. That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
I-80 would be a great place to make an emergency land.
Like on the side of it, Brittany, or actually on the highway?
Hopefully it was like early in the morning or late at night.
Yeah. I've been there twice. I went to the Omaha airport and then I went to the College World Series. That was about it. Had enough of your beautiful state.
I've never been to the College World Series, and I live here.
Fun. It's a good
I've
time.
never been.
I went there because Mark Pryor was pitching.
Big teeth.
Was this Holden? Was this when you were dating Mark Pryor?
I don't even know what that means. What does that even fucking mean? 3-game slate.
So
let's go. Pittsburgh, Buffalo. Literal state of emergency in the state of New York. We're going to have heavy snow, anywhere from 2 to 3 inches during the game. So that'll be fun. Winds in the 30s and 40s with the gusts. That's interesting. So that's game 1. Green Bay, Dallas. A lot of people think that'll blow up. So that's in a dome. And then the Rams in Detroit. So this is an interesting slate here at quarterback because I think you can run Josh Allen naked. I think he's going to run his ass off. And he could end up with 100 rushing yards. In all honesty, it's going to be tough when there's snow on the ground. A big advantage to the offenses because the defense has to react. So we got Allen, Prescott, Stafford, Love, Goff, and Rudolph. These are starting quarterbacks. AP, we don't have to get as in depth because we're going to have shows tomorrow morning. But any quick thoughts on the quarterback situation here?
Yeah, I agree with you from a standpoint that I think they're going to run the ball a lot. And that game's going to be played very quickly because the Steelers love to run the ball too. But I see it being more of like James Cook. And then we saw Leonard Fournette get a lot of touches. And no one's going to play him. Well, obviously, we'll talk about the running back spot. But I think when it comes to quarterback, I want Dak Prescott or Jared Goff. That's kind of where I'm at on the 3-game slate. Dak Prescott at home. I mean, this Cowboys team is just night and day when they're at home versus on the road. And that's like been one of the truest trends that we've seen all season long. I'm not going to deviate from it. I'm going right back to Dak to CD. Tougher to play on FanDuel. CD Lamb is like 10K or 11K. I don't know. The price is ridiculous. And Dak is like also 10K. So it's a tough stack to play on FanDuel. But on DraftKings, you can easily make it work. And then the night game, these Rams games just they nuke. And you got all the pieces on the Lions side. So I love Goff to Amon-Ra. I think Josh Reynolds is fine in there too. So yeah, I like Jared Goff. I like Dak Prescott. Those are going to be my 2 main quarterbacks on the Sunday slate.
Quarterback Sunday slate. You want a Josh Allen?
Yeah, I think Allen's interesting here for the reasons you mentioned, right? Allen, we talked about James Cook on the Old Guys pod. I actually do have some like for Najee Harris, who's been the number 1 guy in Pittsburgh. And, that's kind of where the Bills defense has been a little bit looser, is against the rush. But I really like this Rams team, man. I like Matthew Stafford here. I like Kupp here. Tyler Higbee is cheap. We've seen what Puka could do. I think it's more of a Stafford passing game for the Rams than a Kyren Williams game. The Lions have been tough on opposing running backs, so probably fade Kyren at 7,300 and go with a Stafford stack. You can obviously play Dak Prescott. AP's right. The price on CD Lamb is up there. We've seen that he could break slates, but look, I didn't play Prescott. I didn't play CD Lamb on the Thanksgiving Day slate, and he had a letdown. It was Brandon Cooks. The price on Cooks, 4,900 on DraftKings, is very enticing. So I like him. And yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Robinson for the Rams. He's been getting a lot of targets. Looks like he's going to be super highly owned, and it's worrisome to fade him because he's been the third option there. But I think for leverage, it makes sense to go with a double stack of Stafford and leave him off of it. Maybe play Higbee instead of him in that. So that's the way that I'm approaching that.
All right, very good. We got
chat saying that the game got postponed, pushed to Monday. Hopefully, chat's right. I believe in the chat today. I believe in the chat. So that does change the slate quite a bit. And then it's just now we have 3 2-game slates.
Yeah.
The Buffalo game?
I mean, DraftKings probably they're not going to redo their contest. So it's still 3-game slate.
Could be. I haven't seen it. I mean,
but it does change things. I mean, if the weather, if you're not getting I
have seen nothing.
It was supposed to be what, 4 to 5 inches in game?
I mean, they've had games where they've had 8 inches. Yeah, that's what the underdog said. 4:30 Monday. So we'll have a doubleheader Monday. That's just underdog. I've not seen Schefter or anybody else report this. So, but that's a little wild, man. That kind of changes all my bets too, which kind of sucks if that's the case. But again, I've only seen underdog report that
2 minutes ago. 4:30 on
love
Monday.
McCall.
And nobody else has done that though. Nobody else has reported that. Schefter hasn't reported it, so I'm going to wait for one of the reporters to do it, and then we can go with that. Maybe they got hacked, maybe they didn't. But you would think that guys like Schefter would immediately put it out. Hey,
you would think underdog wouldn't be the first to have it. No offense to underdog.
Yeah, I'm not buying it yet, so you're going to have to. I'm not buying it yet. We're not going with that yet.
Yeah.
If you had it before us, great. The game doesn't start till tomorrow, but I do not see it.
Henry, you are an hour late, Henry. We talked for 45 minutes about today's games, but you know what you could do? You can simply go and start from the beginning and hear all about those games. So there you go. I fixed it.
All right. So now Jonathan Jones has.
I was confused. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Then I
Bill Steelers moved 4:30 from News 4 Buffalo.
All right.
So
So there we go. Underdog was right.
So DraftKings is just going to what? DraftKings is just going to keep the 3-gamer.
I mean, yeah, right? Like, I don't think they're not going to change the contest. I mean,
they have to.
I guess they could, but I don't see them doing it. Like, I got all my stuff reserved. I mean,
what's the weather going to be like there? All right, let me dig into this a little bit, guys. But let's get to the running back position. JT, how much Kyron do you have today? James Cook, if they're playing and it's not snowing, I'm a little down on him. Gibbs, Aaron Jones, Dave Montgomery, Tony Pollard's popping, Najee Harris. Talk to me. What do we got in this game?
Yeah, I like Najee. I like Gibbs. Aaron Jones is going to be popular at 6,300. And I think if you're playing Jones, you're looking for a super competitive game there. I'm just hesitant to play a very popular Aaron Jones. It just doesn't seem to work out all that well. And then I still like Cook. I still think that they could, Cook will catch passes. And I do think that you're probably, it'll be interesting. We'll have to reevaluate that game because it does change the way that you look at that game if it's going to be played in just cold and not, some type of massive storm.
Fuck. All my props. I got to bet that I was betting. Now I got to, this actually screws a lot up. Come on, Buffalo. You're Buffalo. Can't be postponing games.
Yeah, the books right now are probably like, yes, let's go. They're probably not going to help you out there, Holden.
No, they're going to say, screw you. You put all these bets in. You need to deal with it. And that's fine. There's no excuses. You got to be big boys and girls, and that's it. You just take it and you keep going. Yeah, fuck this is what Johnny says. Okay.
Will you be on Twitter advocating for voiding of those bets, Holden?
Nope. You make the bets, you deal with it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the biggest thing. And people just complain, the circumstance. Well, it's called gambling. Sometimes stuff happens and you got to adjust. Maybe now the Bills do cover the 9. You tell me. Like, this is, you want to jump in and see? Do you see more points in this game now that it's not going to be this type of weather?
I still see the Steelers running the ball a lot. I mean, they're not going to lean on Mason Rudolph. I like Najee Harris, Jaylen Warren. I don't think you want to play them together, but I like them as individual pieces. And I mean, Josh Allen may be a little bit more intriguing, especially to Stephon Diggs. Last week they were one bomb away from Steph Diggs, and I was very high on him on that showdown slate from absolutely breaking things. I mean, if he would have connected with them, that would have been what, like an 80-yard walk-in touchdown. You guys remember that play I'm talking about, right? And I think this changes everything. Now I don't know the Monday weather. I'm going to assume it's still cold, but not snowing. And I think maybe the passing attack, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, is a little bit more intriguing. Gabe Davis, I know, was banged up. Our boy Tupac Shakur has been a nice piece there too. And then Uncle Lenny, I was impressed with the touches that he got. I liked him more if it was going to be the environment that we were expected to get tomorrow. Give it to a veteran like Uncle Lenny. He looked good. I thought he looked good. Takes care of the ball. I thought he would have been very interesting. But as far as other running backs go, again, Tony Pollard, fine at home. I'm still playing a little bit of Kyron Williams. I know it's a tough matchup against the Lions. I'm just kicking myself. Every time they get into the red zone, it is feed Kyron Williams and let him cook. It's like he gets all of the touchdowns. Anytime I do the Stafford double stacks, I'm always kicking myself because it's the Kyron Williams show when we get into the red zone.
Oh, my Josh Allen. I didn't hear a goddamn word you said. I'm freaking out about my Josh Allen under 29.5 passing attempts props because that's probably dead now.
It is.
So just say what you want to say. I don't give a shit, JT.
Pour one out for Holden's bets, everybody.
Yeah. All right. Let's finish out receiver, tight end, and then we'll get out of here. So
I'm not rattled to where I can't tell you to do that. I was just like, come on, JT, say whatever you're going to say because I'm not listening.
I can't. Yeah. So we're at we're at tight end. So I'm going to talk about tight end.
Yeah, please do.
I mentioned and AP mentioned Josh Reynolds. I think Josh Reynolds is a little sneaky here with no Sam Laporta as the second, I think the clear second option on Detroit's passing offense. And tight end, though, I like Higbee a little bit at 3,400. Tight ends have done fairly well against the Lions. I like him as a little bit of leverage off of DeMarcus Robinson. Ferguson at 4,700, I think, is good. Kincaid got 8 targets in that game against Miami. So Kincaid is just 4,600. And then I'm probably going to be fully off of the Green Bay situation there. It looks like a clear time share there. I don't see anyone getting enough. If I'm playing someone on Green Bay, it's probably Jaden Reed.
Wide receiver AP, talk to us.
Yeah, I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown, I like Goff, so obviously I like the Sun God, Amon-Ra St. Brown. CeeDee Lamb on DraftKings specifically, I think is fine. Tougher to get to, though, unless you're getting creative and trying to absolutely punt at one of the running back spots or tight end spots. I think that's a creative way to get it, to get there. But obviously the wide receiver position, when you compare this slate to the slate that we talked about earlier, which is obviously the Saturday slate, is far more stacked, a lot better options. CeeDee Lamb, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and now Steph Diggs, I think is far more intriguing. And again, I don't know what the weather is on Monday. I'm just assuming
I'm telling you
likely a little bit better.
Monday, here's what it is. Monday, snow before 4. The game's at 4:30. Snow showers during the game. High of 20.
What's the temperature?
High of 20.
Oh, that's
17
like
to 21 mile an hour winds. Chance of precipitation. So it's not ideal conditions. It's not bad.
Yeah. Stephon Diggs, I think, is now becomes really intriguing. So, but again, I think obviously the 2 dome games are far more safer, especially targeting the wideouts. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, clearly my favorite option.
God, I hope it snows like a motherfucker on Monday too. That'd be so nice. I hope there's like 2 more feet of snow. You don't have to have wind, but just give me a ton of snow. This is crazy that this just broke, man. So again, as you see on the scroll down there, Bills Steelers moved to 4:30 Eastern on Monday. We got a double header on Monday. Well, that's kind of fun. Now I'm excited about Monday even more. We got 2 games that we can do, but we only got 2 games tomorrow.
May throw up a 2-game slate for Monday.
Cool. I'm like,
what's your guys' preference between Puka and Cooper Kupp? Or is it just a coin flip?
Coin flip.
Coin flip.
What do you think, JT?
I'm gonna go with Kupp. I'm gonna go with Kupp.
I also think like I know we love talking about the double stacks, and I think I've heard Stafford doubles. I just think it always gets a little bit overowned in some of these spots. So I like picking one or the other and then pivoting off.
I mean, I'm seeing. Let me see. I don't have ownership on this. I'll pull up.
Maybe it's just been a trend type thing that I've heard people talk about the Stafford doubles. I just think
Stafford. I think there'll be ownership on Puka. There'll obviously be some ownership on Kupp, but I think let me see what I'm showing. Stafford as like the 4th highest owned quarterback. And that's interesting to me, considering how bad that Lions secondary has been the second half of the season. So he's interesting to me. I don't think Puka, Kupp, and Robinson is going to be chalk. DeMarcus Robinson is going to be the highest owned player on the slate. At his price, in the matchup, DeMarcus Robinson is going to be the highest owned guy on the slate.
All right. So DraftKings is not blowing up the 3-gamer. Now you just have to adjust because Buffalo is – maybe it's in play a little bit more. I still liked I thought it was a bump up to Allen, actually. Maybe Allen stays the same, gets his points
the other way to think about it is now people could be just doing exactly what I just said, which is, now maybe we play Stephon Diggs. But the best route might be just stick with your guns, play these games in the dome. Cowboys almost a 30 implied team total. And then, massive total in the Rams-Lions game. I might just go back doubling down on these 2 games that are on Sunday.
Marvelous D says, easy fade on Robinson. It's not an easy fade.
Not easy.
It's not an easy fade because he's 3,600 And it was like week 16, week 15. He was 35% owned on a 12-game slate. I faded him then. And, of course, what does he do? He gets 18 points. He gets into the box. He's getting 6 to 8 targets, and he's 3,600. Look, I think it's good to fade him in some spots, but I don't think if you're playing multiple lineups, you're full fading a $3,600 receiver in the second best matchup on the slate. So in a dome, I mean, that's tough. That's tough.
I like the Pittsburgh D call too, just because Josh Allen is just so prone to making mistakes. It's just what he does.
No TJ Watt though, right? I mean,
yeah, true.
A little bit of an upgrade for James Cook, a little bit of upgrade for Allen. The running game. What'd you say, Holden, about the weather on Monday? It's still going to be cold, but maybe
not 20 degrees as of now. Snow showers, but they say it's going to end around 4. It's entirely possible we have a ton of snow on Monday, just not the wind. Because I mean, they were going to play in 40 to 60 degree winds today. That's crazy. What's so funny?
Travis Mangone has some news.
Hold on, Travis St. Real Estate Real.
Congratulations, Travis.
That is not Mangone, is it?
Travis has passed his real estate test, and he is now a licensed realtor in the state of Colorado. If you're looking for a good real estate agent in Colorado, TravisJMangone.com.
What's the J stand for?
What?
What's the J stand for?
That's obviously his middle initial.
Yeah, no. What do you think his middle name is?
John.
Is it J-A-Y? You think John?
John.
AP, you should know. What's Mangone's middle name?
I have no idea.
What?
How should I know this?
I mean, you have access to everybody's forms.
Yeah, you do. You know everybody.
I don't
Can you
study those things.
You go through everybody's
filed away
tax returns right now and just find his middle name for us.
I'll tell you what, Travis is always hustling, man. He's selling houses. Jesus. He's selling houses. He's grinding NBA. He's grinding NFL. I love it. Travis is headed to an open house, as a matter of fact. David is letting his minions do the work.
All right, I'm done arguing about Robinson. Just go look at the scroll down here. If you hit the like button, first of all, that'd be great. New Year 15% off first payment. Get in on the bet side, too, if you haven't already. Let's just do the tight end position and get the hell out of here. Laporta, try practicing. He's questionable. I have a hard time thinking he plays. If he does, I'm probably not going to play him, AP. Ferguson has a good matchup against Green Bay. Dalton Kincaid, now that they're moving the game, it's got to be in the mix a little bit. Freiermuth has done nothing with Mason Rudolph. If you don't think Laporta is going to do anything, who is the guy in Detroit? Is it Brock Wright, or do you just completely fade the situation there? Because it's Laporta, Wright, and Anthony Ferkser. I haven't even seen Ferkser lately. So tight end, is the pool small? Who's in it? AP.
Yeah, I like the tight ends better today than tomorrow. But I think for me, it's Jake Ferguson up top. Projects really well. I like him in those DAX stacks. And then he had Sam Laporta. Did he practice? Did he really practice?
Yeah, he was off on the side, and then he was out there catching passes. It's iffy.
I mean, that looked like a pretty significant injury. So I wouldn't bank on it. If you're talking about Matt Stafford, instead of doing the doubles with Kupp and Puka, I would rather swap one of those guys out and throw in a Tyler Higbee, obviously red zone target that you could play. And then Dalton Kincaid, I think in the other game is a fine option too. But I'm going to have a very tight end pool. Jake Ferguson, Mary Ferguson. I believe he was top of the flow chart, if my memory serves me right. Yeah, Mary Ferguson, my guy. Or maybe he's lower down on that. I gotta pull it up now.
Let me ask you something real quick before JT gets to tight ends. So if you're playing Saturday to Monday now, does this change much with the Bills, JT? Like, are you going to have more Allen or Diggs or Cook? Like, we got to redo this whole thing, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I liked Cook. I liked Najee. Was not as high on the passing game, the passing options there. This still, I mean, I guess Buffalo plays a little bit more fast, but the Steelers are not going to play fast, right? The Steelers are going to be run the ball, right? As AP said, they're not going to lean on Mason Rudolph. So I think the only change is now you're maybe upping your consideration of Buffalo's passing offense. I don't think it, maybe you want to look at Deontay Johnson as, the short passes. I mean, both Johnson and Pickens have about the same average depth of target. So it's not like one of them gets more. I mean, we saw it in the game the last week of the season where it was Deontay Johnson that caught the big touchdown pass. It was probably an 8-yard pass, and he ran 60, 70 more yards. So I think you could play one of those guys. I don't think you can play both. Gabe Davis was ruled out yesterday. Does moving it back a day change that? Is he going to get, maybe is he going to get, probably not.
Didn't look good. Tupac and Trent Sherfield.
Right. Adam G says that Diggs is used to the snow in Minnesota, which is interesting because they play in a dome. But I guess for 2 seasons, they didn't play in a dome. So there you go.
And he played in Maryland too. It got cold there in November, but not like that cold. AP, final thoughts here.
Yeah, I mean, Kincaid, like on the tight end spot or just in general?
Yeah, final thoughts on tight end.
Yeah, tight pool, Mary Ferguson, top of the flow chart, by the way. And then Dalton Kincaid. I like that game a little bit more, and I just in this type of it's still not going to be like that great of weather. Kincaid was awesome last week. Allen was looking his way.
Don't put it up there. Don't do it. Don't give Mangone the attention.
Oh man,
that's JT.
But defense for me, I like the Cowboys defense against Mangone's Jordan Love. The problem with like Buffalo is going to be the popular defense, and I get it. You can play Buffalo defense, it's fine. But Pittsburgh they're going to run the ball as often as they can. So I just don't think the opportunity is going to be there. Where I see the Packers trailing, kind of forcing it downfield. I think it sets up good for Dallas defense.
All right, so we got 2 games today, 2 games Sunday, and then the Bills Steelers on Monday, followed by the Eagles and the Bucks. I was looking forward to just sitting there the whole day tomorrow and watching football, but I must say, now we got a doubleheader on Monday. Kind of excited about that. I like it. I wasn't doing anything Monday anyways. Were you guys?
You going to be watching the Cock tonight? Peacock?
Oh,
the Chiefs game?
Yeah. I bought the Peacock for that one shitty game with the Chargers, and it's still active. So I'll use it one more time and then get rid of it. It's smart for the NFL. I mean, seriously, it's smart for the NFL to do
Kevin
that.
Clunan has a message for you, Holden.
Imagine firing on a Buffalo under and now getting the game moved. I did not bet the total.
All right.
The thing I'm bothered with is the Josh Allen passing attempts. But I'll take care of that. Play of the day today, AP.
For today.
You know what? I always need to go to second because you're always like,
we're on the Sunday slate.
Play of the day. Screw the Sunday slate. That's tomorrow, and it's only come on.
I mean, what's our likes at though? Are they high enough? I mean, he needs a promo code to drop as well.
Along with the plays of the day. I'm done. AP was wonderful to see you. JT, it was wonderful to see you. New Year's 15. I'm hitting the out.
Isaiah Pacheco, my play of the day.
Elijah Moore.
Chalky is running back on the slate.
JT, I don't care about yours. Go watch the Wood Show later today.